Perfect. I don't have a drink. I feel bad. Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Michael Kamam, Director of Content for T3 Live. I'm here with Scott Redler, and Scott is here to cheer me up because I'm losing so much money in my semiconductor stocks. So we are going to talk about this meltdown we're seeing in Nvidia, AMD, other stocks like SMCI. Scott is going to talk us through everything so we can finally figure out what's going on here. It seems like there's some degree of panic out there, and we're going to see what kind of opportunities come about. So room is filling up. So say hi. Let us know in the chat where you're coming in from. Write in the chat where you are from. I'm in Brooklyn. Scott is in New Jersey. We're just curious. We want to see everybody to say hi. Of course, Itz is here. Hello, Itz. Okay, and so very quickly, what we're going to go over today, obviously, what's happening in the market. We're going to talk about the semi-collapse, and then later on, we're going to talk about how to get Scott's ideas for $99. So Scott, looks like we have a full house there. 285 people so far. We have Meredith in Palm Beach, Miriam in Los Angeles. Itz is representing Ridgefield, Connecticut. So Scott, what is the mood like out there in the market? What are you seeing?
Well, it seems as if obviously we lost momentum. I feel like we haven't done this in 2 weeks because of, I think you were out, I was out, and I apologize for that because we definitely had a lot of things to add. I know last weekend I came in on Saturday, and I talked about how the S&P weekly broke the 8-day moving average, how the SPYs broke, 512, 515, and it's time to get risk down. I don't know how many ebooks we've had, Mike, about the 8 and 21 day on how if you trade for a living, you could ride the market with the best stocks when it's above the 8 and 21 day, but when it's below, you have to have risk off. You have to pick and choose spots. You have to try and net money. You have to try and not overtrade. And literally, I know we haven't had it for a while, but I think we identified those areas really well, but then obviously profiting from the short side and then not getting a little chopped up are two different things. But I'm hoping people are okay. I feel like everyone in our community, everyone in the Alpha team, everyone that follows Red Dog T3 or the private premium or even T3, like we were out of the way. And everything that I've taught in the past decade hopefully led you to making very quality decisions in the last 2 weeks about your time frame, about your approach, about how much risk you have on, and about how much cash you sit in. Because play by play, I know after the fact, I was like, oh, it's after the fact. I'm like, play by play, using technical analysis and drowning out the noise, you were able to see a lot of this breakdown prior to today's action. Where are you, Michael?
Okay, I'm here. Okay, so Scott, do you want to talk us through some of the signals you saw that there was trouble ahead? Now, we can pull up the slides we prepped, or we can go to your chart.
Let's do SPY first. All right, okay. I'm gonna just let's put the SPY up. So I do it. Listen, every day if you go on my Twitter, I always do a daily chart of the SPYs, a daily chart of the S&P cash, sometimes a weekly if I want to give a bigger perspective, the Qs, and then some key names. And the constant is the 8 and 21 day moving average. Now, if you look here, this was the last little bit of commentary. You always want to read the commentary also. Talked about how here 1 week ago, this day, okay, it was the first real day we closed below the 8 and 21 day. So you need to ask yourself as a trader, as an active market participant, what did you do? Did you get out of positions that you were looking to think were special? Did you reduce risk? Did you maybe get short? Did you get flexible? Did you turn the TV down? Did you get rid of the permables? Did you follow your rules? Okay, because that was the day that this neckline of this somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern was built, kind of broke. Okay, whether you saw a commitment to it or not, you could always revisit. And then if you remember on Monday, when Iran and the U.S. had their little fireworks show where we spent billions and billions of dollars, but nothing happened, we opened up into this 515. I remember being in this 630 club with you guys, telling you, or on the Alpha team saying, let's see if they reject price into the moving averages. And not only did they reject price, it took out a prior low showing power. And then from there, strength has been sold the entire way. And, every time we've gotten to the 8 day, which was different than here, and the 21 day, we've been rejected. So at this point, we are below 498.56. It looks like we're near the lows of the day. It looks like we're on our way to this 490 492 area, which I thought would be a great area to maybe test along. I might even put my blood in the street account to work if we can close in the dead lows. And you saw the spiders. The spiders I just picked up about an hour ago, trying to trade the range to see. But literally, I went from 15 to 20 positions. If you look at this weekly chart, during this awesome trend, because we look at weekly charts, you look at the weekly chart again over the weekend. Go back to it. I showed you this candle saying, "Hey, we're now below the 8-day for the first time since November. Make some changes." So you could have saved yourself a ton of money. And now it feels as if we're getting to one spot. This was 498.56, which is right around here. And then really the bigger spot, which we might see or might not, is 479. But you have to at this point say, where do I live? How many different accounts do I have? And what were the signals? And part of the SPYs breaking the 8-21 day and the weekly charts, the semiconductors, which have been the heartbeat of tech, gave you 4 different signals to reduce risk and show that the active bears had control versus the active bulls that had control for the last 6 to 9 months. And I'm sure Michael has a nice little educational platform for you guys to use so we could walk you through it.
Yep, Scott, we're ready. We got it right here on the screen for everybody.
Okay, so I see a lot of people in here. If you want to Google red dog reversal is what I call a day to take notice, a day that we might change direction, a day to switch some gears, and a day to just, hey, maybe this is a spot that we need to recognize. And if you remember right here on the semiconductors, after a huge move away from the 8-day, you had a red dog reversal sell where it took out 234.91, came back below a spot to, after 4 days at least, reduce your risk. And some people might have even got short for a second. Let's look at the size of this move. And then all we really did is come in and test the 8-day, which wasn't anything to be alarmed about, but just something to be aware that this little shot across the bow might turn into something more if we get more signals during the trading path, which is what we are all on every single day. So what happened next? So now after this red dog reversal, we went a little bit below the 21-day, came back above it, and went in this channel, right? Not the end of the world. The size of the move that the semiconductor had, the semiconductor sector had, it made sense for some consolidation. Sometimes you have consolidation and then you continue higher, or sometimes you have consolidation and you continue lower. This is education. This just happened in the past, week or two. So it's good to relive it so you could see in your head, how did you adjust? Did you close your eyes and go underwater? Did you not follow your stops? Did you, not get short, or did you get too long, etc.? So right here in this channel, not only, look at this bar right here, another bearish engulfing bar, below. By the way, never took back halfway of this point. So right there, the retracement rule staying intact. And then if you drew another line here, all of a sudden it's in the bottom half of this, bearish engulfing bar. So then right here, you're going to say, okay, now we're looking a little vulnerable after 2 big sell signals that now we're below the 8-21 day, get out of the way because this range could break. And then what happened thereafter that range break? You had a range break, and then you had an inside day that couldn't take it back, and then you had a bear flag continuation. So you could have adjusted here, you could have adjusted here, you could have gotten short here, and you could have at least or done nothing and just been out of the trend and said, this with the semiconductors going lower, I better be careful with the Qs. I better be careful with mega cap tech, because if the semiconductors have lost momentum and didn't become special and lost their status, the whole market's going to notice. And then where are we now?
Okay, we are.
Okay, we then not only came down below the channel, we couldn't get back above it. 8 days and 21 days started rolling over. And now here we are on the way to the 100-day. And if you go to the SMHs on my chart, you will see that it was very systematic. You had to, oh, by the way, look at that weekly chart. Holy cow. That's your weekly chart. Okay, so look at the size of that bar into here. So this trend broke. This trend has been really strong since December. And now you go to the weekly chart, which we just went over, or the daily, I'm sorry. And now we're right here. We just filled this gap into the 100-day. So should you be buying the 100-day here at 241 on a Friday, you never know because you don't know what's going to happen in the last hour. Either it's going to hold it and bounce off it, or things going to accelerate. Fear is going to happen, and this and that. I'm just watching. I actually, if you go back to the Redler, if you go back to the virtual trading field, you'll see I just got out of my spiders. My spiders actually just broke the morning low. So I bought the spies into that little morning spot, which was right here. If you go, let's break it down. So you had a tiny bounce off of that 2 o'clock level, and now it's back below it. Let's go intraday. Yeah, that was right here. I got long right there, and now it's a new low, so I'm below it. And now, so the spot, the what's it called? The SMHs are at the low, and now we are entering a bit of, I guess, a better spot. There was really nothing, here when we broke the 8 and 21 day. Although we're oversold, there's been nothing down to here, and that truly isn't, the most conducive spot. But into this area, we'll see if there's some kind of bounce, and we'll see if it happens into the end of the day. You never know. I'm actually going to start buying a little bit in the 494s to 491s into this down move, thinking that maybe we can catch some kind of snapback. But you never know what happens on a Friday. I'll probably, if we can close down here, I'm going to be putting my wife's Blood in the Street account to work for the first time in a long time. Last time I put my wife's Blood in the Street account to work, let's hold on. Let me just show you, Mikey, because everyone talks about the Blood in the Street account. We'll get into it. Last time I put the Blood in the Street account to work was right here. Not saying that's going to happen here, but I did it 3 tiers here, got flat, 2 tiers, 2 tiers. Here, actually, no, here, 2 tiers also. And I went to cash a little early, right around here. And now I'm looking to put tier 1 back to work if we can close in the lows. And then I don't know if this will be too fast, but this will definitely be a tier 2, depending on how it happens, if it happens. But, we're finally 5% or so below the highs, and that's when I put her cash account to work. But overall, where do you live? Are you an active trader? Do you get paid for April? Do you get paid quarterly? Are you someone who works in a job and tries to also make money to supplement your income? Or are you a long-term investor that puts monthly flows in? Or are you someone who's retired as an IRA and wants to try and create alpha, stay safe, and generate cash flow every year because Social Security is not going to do it? So where are you and what time frame? For me, I have every time frame working, so I try and give you a little bit of all of it.
Okay, Scott. All right. When you're looking at the market, especially stocks like Nvidia and SMCI that were leading, do you think that this is a healthy pullback into earnings season?
That's a great question. You probably heard that all over TV. Is this a healthy pullback to be bought? No one truly knows. At least they're not priced for perfection. When you go into an earnings print and you're near the all-time highs, chances are you need to have an awesome report. You need to guide higher. Otherwise, you're in trouble. So, Netflix, if you look at my Twitter from yesterday, when all of a sudden they said they're not going to give you estimates on subscribers anymore, I'm like, that sounds a little bit about what Apple did. Apple said, we're not going to give you iPhone estimates anymore because their iPhones weren't growing the same way they've grown. They're making a lot of money in their iTunes, their apps, their whatever it is. But that showed that their better days of growth are behind them and they know how to PE, and Apple's done nothing. So when I heard that, I heard Gene Munster talking about it, and he can go to whatever time it was. Must have been like 418. The stock was trading at like 95. The stock was trading literally at 595 when I tweeted it, and now Netflix is trading at down 9%. So you look at Netflix now. Look at that hole in the chart. We talk. We have another ebook if you want to put in there, Mike, about pro earnings gaps. This pro earnings gap was held and gave you a move to 639. This one now probably doesn't get filled, and I would think this is in the penalty box for a while. So they have a PE of like 40. The subscriber growth is slowing. They do make money on advertising and other things, but it's just people don't want to hear high valuation momentum stocks where they've peaked for a while, and that's the problem with Apple the last few months. That's obviously going to be Netflix's problem, and then it's been Tesla's problem for a while. But so coming into earnings season, if the lower they take them, the easier it is to have a bounce, but that's just a different type of trade. This is what we said on Netflix this morning. I always post a chart, in our stuff. And now the 100-day is not holding. This will probably be the next thing that gets tested. You have 549, which is this low, just as we talked about Netflix. This is now your pro earnings gap that the longer it stays below, the higher the probability this is going to give us, move down to that. And you almost have like an island top now if you want to do it this way. So there's some this is what the Fed wanted, right? They wanted to slow things down, but unfortunately interest rates aren't coming down and inflation's not coming down. So that's giving you a little bit of a more complicated environment than we had multiple months before. And as of now, next week we have the big earnings, right, Mikey? We have which of the earnings that we have? Oh, I just got printed on the spiders, by the way.
We have.
That spot, okay?
I will tell you in 1 second. But Scott, while I pull that up, let me ask you a question. So the market, it used to feel like the market could not live without Apple. And this year, the market had a great run without Apple. Can the market survive without Nvidia leading?
I don't think so. I think that AI gave the market another shot in the arm. If you go to Nvidia, I pointed this out. Nvidia, I was doing like a call at 9 o'clock, and all of a sudden, Nvidia and SMCI got hit. I was like, what's going on here, guys? They're like, SMCI just came out with their earnings date. And I thought, that's how fast you have to think as a trader. I thought to myself, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, there was some chatter out there that they thought SMCI was going to up their guidance the way they did last quarter and went up 150 points. So for them to put out their earnings date, they're not upping their guidance. And this is a high valuation stock that just tripled, it's going to be in trouble. I didn't trade Nvidia once today. I think the first time, obviously I should have been short. So it is what it is. But I made all my money long it during this whole thing. Remember, this 505, it broke above, and then it had its peak, 2 days. And then this week, I'm like, it has to hold. First was like this spot, it didn't hold it. Then it didn't hold 881. And then today broke below both big spots. So what's the next spot for Nvidia? It's 742. So if AI is slowing down and we have this little hiccup, which could happen in the next quarter, it's hard to have a stock that just went like this. You can go to the weekly chart. Just went from 505 to here, be elevated without having a corrective phase. So the question is now, it's Nvidia's job to prove that the competition isn't eating their lunch. It's their job to prove. Hold on, SPY's just had a little bit of a bounce. I got to sell a little bit right now. I just bought some at 494.26. So I do trade for a living. I'd like to take 60 cents on the same side here. There we go. I'll hold the rest. Hey, 60 cents for lunch on a Friday. Anyway, I just sold some SPYs there. That was a little bit of a bounce. So I do trade also. Okay, sorry. Listen, I trade, Michael.
No. It's okay.
I love you.
We endorse trading because Sami Abusad always trades during the show. So it's very much encouraged for our contributors to trade while we're talking. Okay, so next week we have
so this
SAP,
is big right there, by the way.
Tesla, Meta, IBM, Merck, Microsoft, Google, Caterpillar, Exxon, Chevron. So we do have a pretty big week coming. Why don't we talk about Tesla, Scott? Because Tesla used to be one of your favorite stocks to trade. Now Scott has been saying very unkind things about Tesla since it was over 200, I believe. So our expectations
280, December 28th. December 28th was the day Tesla changed, and I told you guys that Elon is no longer on the wall. He left the Russian bathhouse.
Scott has an amazing memory for the things he got right. So Scott, what are you seeing with which is a common trait of traders? They're great at remembering what they got right. So Scott, why don't you tell us what's going on with this very hideous stock that's making all of us miserable? Tony, our good friend Tony out in the audience, says Tesla is dead money. So what is the story here?
The story here is that everyone thought Tesla was like this innovative technology company. It always had a halo because Elon for a long time was in the news, in the media, that he could do no wrong. So you had a really awesome acting stock, technically above the 821 day. And then once, the pickle jar happened and 2 pickles got out and all the pickles go, all of a sudden, the juice is loose. And Elon bought Twitter and he got sidetracked. And then, news stories about ketamine and whatever it was a tricky situation, for a stock that was a glorified car company that got a higher valuation. So little by little, I don't care about, what the narrative is. I care about the stock action. And if you look right here, I always go to 12/28, which is December 28th, the day that this trend changed, right? It had an inverse head and shoulders pattern, great pattern. I loved Elon here. He was my best friend. And then here I said, I'm done with him. And then it broke the 8th day and it stayed below it the whole time. Then he actually had another little inverse head and shoulders pattern right here, if you look at it. And then all of a sudden Elon was trying to make better. And then we had a little bit of a day. And then I remember right here, it broke and I was done with him again. P.S. That's where it is. So, but Tesla is different than a stock like, a Nvidia, not a Netflix. I was near all-time highs going into the report. Tesla is different than a Nvidia that has doubled, tripled, whatever it's done. Tesla is limping into earnings from 414, 278. If it's just in line, it'll have a good move. But if all of the things that people have been thinking about are actually coming to fruition, chances are you could see 135. You could see, lows. But at this point, you have to look at where your stock was and where it is going into numbers. So the expectations are very, very low in Tesla. So if they happen to just be in line, if you're buying puts now because you think the report's going to be bad, you're going to lose money. Is it set up for them coming out with something that could be a little bit positive for a bounce? Yes. So I'll look at it on Monday. I will not be playing Tesla to the downside. If anything, if something happened and it opened lower, it probably would be a washout. I might do something a little bit more constructive on it. But ultimately, this weekly chart to the downside is a lot different than what Netflix was. So Netflix needed to be perfect and got higher, and it didn't happen. So what you want to do is you want to see where your stock came from, what the expectations are, etc. Same thing like with SMCI. Everyone thought they were going to come out and pre-announce a great quarter prior, like they did the last time. This time they didn't. So now SMCI, that had a huge move, just got cremated. And if you knew what you were looking for, you could get out of the way. I have a friend that trades SMCI all the time, and they get out, in the first half an hour trading, and you wind up not having to take the pain of this entire move. Meanwhile, this gap got filled. It's down to the 100 day. Remember this day? This was Tuesday, I think. They put a 1500 target on it, fell at the whole 981, did a red dog reversal, follow through, and then pow. Listen, you traded with the big boy stocks, and you want to swim in the deep pool, you better wear your swimmies. Otherwise, or at least know what to do when it happens, because this could have blown up your entire trading account and ruined your year if you didn't know what the street was thinking about. That's why we're up every day so early, to know what's expected and then what comes out and how the market or stock reacts to it.
Okay, guys, let us know in the chat. Do you like Tesla here? Would you buy Tesla down here at 147 and change? Type a yes in the chat if you like Tesla. Type a no if you don't like it. Scott, why don't we talk about Meta? So Meta's been a big leader. Even off the highs, it's up about 35% year to date. What are you seeing? Scott has that trader face on, so we might be trading right now.
I'm looking at my other account. I'm seeing what the spiders are doing and see what's going on here. I don't want to miss a little bit of a Friday, counter trend rally, but it's fine.
Okay, we're
now this is
getting a whole bunch of yeses in the chat. We actually have quite a few Tesla bulls over here on Twitter. Rick says hell no. Dunk says no. Okay, so Scott, so Meta, what should we be looking for with Meta?
See, Meta's had a huge move also, so Meta has to be great. Like Meta just broke. Like this is you want to go, remember this? I was long 1 week ago. This actually was my biggest loser 1 week ago. And also it's a good lesson too, because it shows you how I was thinking that Meta was going to break to the upside. I was all excited about it before the market really broke that 512 area right here. Like I stopped out last Friday, and now look. Even yesterday, I was like, what the hell is Meta doing? It's up $12. Chillo from the Alpha team was shorting it. I'm like, I should probably be shorting it too. But anyway, symmetrically, what did it do? It tested here, came in. It looks like it came in a lot, but then if you go to the weekly chart of Meta, all it did is take a little bit of the fluff out. By the way, this weekly chart's been awesome above the 8 day. Now for the first time, it's really below the 8 day, and it broke below last week's low, What date is Netflix? I mean, what date is this report?
Meta
Hold on.
is on. I have it up. Meta is Wednesday.
I would just wait. It's still better. Like the spies are down at the 100-day. This is the 50-day, so it's still showing strength or relative strength. But ultimately, for a trader that's trying to trade for a living, it was definitely a better short than a long, and it's not telling you that you can get paid to sit in it. And that happened on this day. That's how fast you had to be. If you didn't get out on this day, you could have blown up your account. Again, that's why I'm always an advocate of getting up early, knowing your levels, and adjusting, because a small loss could turn into a friggin' widowmaker, and that's not what I want to do for anybody. That's why I'm always trying to be on top of it. And look here, broke below the 8-day, came back, squeezed through, but still closed below. And then today, boom! I actually I bought Meta today, saying, "Hey, it was up 12 yesterday. It's down 6. Let me buy a little bit." And it wouldn't rally, and I got out of the way like that. Let me just show you Meta. I saved myself a lot of money. If you go like here real quickly. So I just want to show you how you could watch the virtual trading floor. Hold on. So Meta's down $21. Okay. If I take, hold on, let me just get the virtual trading floor for a second, just to show you how I could help you, turn a loser into the best trade ever because you get out of it. So you go here. I bought Meta at at 932 when it was down $6. You could see when I bought it, and I get out at 936 because I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. I just trimmed some spies. That's why it's flashing red. So although I lost $2, it's down 22. I'll take that $2 any day. And yes, I trade for a living. I'm a prop trader. If you watch this and you're a prop trader, you use stops. And that was like right here. So basically you go here, it came in. I think I stopped myself a little bit earlier even. You could have waited till it broke the 30-minute low. I think I got stopped out right there after it made this low. But then right there. Oh, that's hello. Hold on. This is Dan talking. Could you guys hear Dan? I think I lost Mikey.
No, I'm still here. We can't hear Dan. Hello?
You can't hear him?
No, you can't hear him. He's not. We can't hear
Okay.
Dan Fruits. Okay, Scott. How about Microsoft and Google? They are coming next Thursday.
A lot of time between now and Thursday. Hold on. Hold on a second. Let me move this over here. Everything lost special status. Everything last Friday, 1 week ago, turned into a tactical trade. 1 week ago. Today is April 19th. 1 week ago, I had a horrible day because on Thursday, it looked as if the market was going to be okay, and then it didn't. So let's look at Microsoft now. I'll show you how you can save it right here. Okay, same thing. I do it every day. Okay, I was long Microsoft on this day, and then that happened. Made a lower low, got me out, and then look at this. I remember even saying in the 630 Club, I'm like, hey guys, every day we woke up this morning and the futures are up 20 handles, and every rally was sold, went right back into this retest, and now look at it. Do I think Microsoft is worth its spot here? It's a different trade. It went from potentially making a new high like Amazon did and Google did, and then it turned out that nothing was making higher highs, and that was your out right there. Get out, get short. Okay, I got out, and then look at it since. Now, better hold this spot, otherwise the market's going a lot lower everywhere. It just came in for 4 days. So if it were closing on the lows, I would look for some kind of opportunity. Listen, if all these things continue to get killed into earnings, and then the earnings are better than feared, you're going to get a bounce back. Up here, again, you have to have an awesome report, awesome guidance. Down here, it might be a little easier to have a bounce, but that's all you're playing for is for a bounce. This weekly trend just changed right here too. Doesn't mean it's over, just means that it just, from where it came from, it's different now. Broke the 8-day. Now it hasn't been below the 21 days since October, since the low in October. So it's getting trickier. When it's trickier, you got to be on your toes, and you have to do things both ways, and you have to know your time frame 1,000%. By the way, cheers. Anybody have a beverage out there in comment land? What's up, Tony?
I have nothing. Scott, we
You have
need to
nothing.
we need your thoughts on Google. The people out there are demanding them. We need to know what Scott thinks of Google.
Same shit as Microsoft. Excuse my French.
No,
Except
no
for it hasn't
cussing,
broke
Scott.
yet. No cussing.
This
I was
is
kidding.
this is a rated PG show.
Yeah.
Though you are drinking beer.
Am I allowed? So this is the weekly. It is one of the better names, like in Amazon, but still, if you're long this week, you got hurt. This weekly candle just matched it. Does this turn into a false breakout? I've seen a lot of false breakouts lately, so I don't know. You can't have a false sense of security just staying in Google, but we'll see where that is. Google is acting better, right? If the if if the the spies and the Qs are at the 100-day and this is only the 21-day, that means it should be on the top of your list for when the market turns. Google is best. Same thing with Amazon. Amazon and Google are still considered best in breed for now, except for the market's been under a lot of pressure. So we need to see. So Google's numbers are what? They're April 25th, which is a while from now. So we'll revisit it. If it's down here, maybe there'll be a better, easier way for them to, be better than feared or whatever the market wants to do. But for now, no reason to be in it. No reason to really be in anything more than a trade until the market proves that even getting we're oversold enough for a 1 to 3 day bounce, because so far we're making lower lows. So that's that. This and Amazon are kind of the same. Amazon too. Wow. Kind of crazy that Amazon waited all this time to make a new all-time high. And then from there, 189, look at it. Boom. Look how. And then I remember during this, I said, if it breaks below 182.50, get out of Dodge. And you could have saved yourself a lot of money. You could always save yourself money as an active trader if you honor your stops and know when the trade changes. And you go to the weekly chart, like, look at that. It finally got back up to the all-time highs by $1 to only see a candle like that. It's kind of gross, but again, it is. I guess it isn't the end of the world. It's just the way the market is. Nice trend the whole time. Finally below the 8-day. Not finally, but it is. So you have to recognize that. So thank God I got out of that really well. I even tried that today too, and I made a little bit of money, and then just was like, I'm done with it. Got to be fast and prepared in this tape, otherwise you're in trouble.
Okay, Scott, you've been active in the metal, so I feel like every 1 or 2 years, Scott gets very involved in gold and sometimes the miner. So, Scott, you've been very active in gold and silver the last few months. It was a big win for Power Plays, all the services across the board. Scott's been doing great with gold and silver. So,
cheers to
that. What are you seeing going forward for the metals? And do you think there's a chance of some kind of catalyst soon that really catapults them higher?
Again, I came into this year with you. We always do that. The report, I did the 2024 report, and the daily chart, the weekly chart, the monthly chart all lined up beautifully in gold. So we started playing gold, and then I have a friend who really is involved in the metals. Like, you better play silver too. It could play catch up, and that was right around here. I bought the $23 calls, the $24 calls. I even rolled them up, and then into last Friday, came into this 27-ish area. And I'm like, I'm done with it. It's way too extended. So at this point, the market was very weak, and it still held in there pretty well. So today, first time in a while, I went out and I bought the $28 calls for a month out, just in case it wants to continue. Because if you look at the monthly chart, there's definitely a whole nother area here if it wants it or not. This was what happened in 2010. That was a huge move in silver. It only happens like once a century. But this move was calculated, and now it can continue. So I'm buying options. I want to make sure on the daily chart that, it holds the 8-day, which it has. So if this was a tech stock, you'd be like, hey, it's above the 8-day the entire time. You had a breakout last Friday that was sold, and now we just rebuilt. And instead of buying SLV by itself, I went out and I bought some options. I do think it still looks good. And gold also is trying to hold the 8-day. It has a bit of a bull flag. It's still, to me, this bearish reversal is almost, could be absorbed. But, if I were you, I would just buy some calls. Gold is very, very tricky. It's very, very violent. So when it's very tricky and violent, I like to just be a little bit more careful, because options risk is premium paid. But back here is when we really loved it. I loved it at 193. Had a big call spread on and then did it again. And I also loved it because the weekly chart also looked awesome. Awesome, right? Right here. What a big level. So daily and weekly matched up. And then the monthly matched up. The cup and handle. I actually even tweeted it out on Friday before that high. But anyway, so when you have a daily, weekly, and monthly chart that lines up, you better, look at it very, 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 very closely. Other than that, I usually just trade gold and silver here and there. So it was a very good narrative, very good thesis, and gave you lots of ways to manage a trade without predatory action. We haven't had a lot of that, this year. And now, again, it pays to be very careful with everything right now with the size of the moves that we've seen. And I've been very careful. And we warned you guys, of that. So if you've had some paper cuts in some of these things, who cares? But if you bought a dip the entire way down, even in like a SMCI, oh, look at that even. You can be put out of business. Put out of business. Know what you're trading, know your time frame, and use your stops. And here we are there on the weekly. And if you go back to the daily just one more time, wow.
Okay, I'm just going to share a page from the 2024 Market Outlook report. I hope everybody can see it, but yeah, on here it says Scott predicted GLD going to the 230 to 240 range, and this is when it was at about 183. And I don't know if anybody remembers, at the end of December, not many people were bullish on gold. So that's been a big win for our little crew out there. Scott, do you want to chart SLV for the people? We're getting
sure.
SLV.
We just did that, but I'll do it again. SLV just held the 8-day on the daily. Want to go to did you
I think I removed your charts accidentally. I screwed up.
All right, I'll let it slide. Hold on. You're allowed. You got a lot going on over there. There it is. I think, actively it held the 8-day and the asset is still being bought. So I like it. But what I did today, instead of buying the SLV, I bought the $28 calls for 30 cents out a month, thinking that if we do, we might have to hang out here for another week or two and absorb, this move. But then if we get above 27 or 27.98 and this thing has a real move, like I don't even know what would, you could see $30, and if you bought the 28 calls, that's a lot of money. You can go out 3 months if you want to give it more time, but there's still a lot of room here if it really wants to get. It's been hot, really hot, but if it wants to go on fire, this is a big level to get above, and then your next level is 31 for silver.
Okay. Okay, guys. We have a special offer for you guys because we love you guys. We have 3,600 people on with us. Hold on.
What's a special offer?
It's a surprise, Scott. It's a surprise for you. It's a surprise for me. It's a surprise for everybody. Let's go. Come on. Okay, we did this offer last month. Like a couple hundred people took it. Everybody loved it. Here we go. So because we love you guys, we appreciate you coming out and spending Friday with us. You can get a year of Scott's Power Play service. And yes, SLV was a big trade in Power Plays. GLD was a big trade. Oxy. And you can get a whole year for $99 if you go to t3live.com/power, t3live.com/power. Again, you get 12 months for $99. You get Scott's favorite idea each week. Yeah, this is beautiful. We love the people out there. We are for the people. Weekly roundup every Friday. You get email updates when it's time to switch gears. You get bonus options ideas. Again, just $99 for the whole year.
No, Microsoft wasn't good, by the way. Someone's like, not Microsoft.
That's
Listen,
true.
That's
Listen, there are ups and downs. Microsoft. And it's not like Microsoft was some kind of disaster. Microsoft is like a 5% loser. But yeah, there are losers. This is reality. Again, guys, t3live.com/power. Sorry, Scott, what were you going to say?
I just wanted to be realistic. Listen, Power Plays is the name. Okay, a lot of people always want action, and I try and have people sit on their hands as much as possible. Even this week, you didn't know if we were going to hold and if anything could be there. And last Friday, things changed. And it looked like Microsoft on Thursday, and it looked like Meta was going to join Amazon and Google that just made an all-time high. But once the market changed, things changed fast, and we had to get out of some and then give it some more room. So there are times when stocks are making, nice charts and then getting up and going, and you can make a lot of money with follow through. And then there's other times when, the market's just in a corrective phase and you lose a little bit of money and you don't sit and you take a loss, and then you keep the powder dry and you wait. Sometimes there's a lot of things working and sometimes there's not a lot of things working. We had a lot of things working in the first quarter, a lot. And I'm going to try, I love the name Power Plays, but we might have to come up with a different type of name just because it feels like everyone on Power Plays just wants to be told what to do. In Alpha Team, you're professional traders. They'll take my charts and make their own decisions. And if I'm doing it, I give them confidence and we do it together. Redler Report, same 40 different ideas. It's up to you to figure it out if I'm doing a great. Power Plays, people don't want to put as much time in. They just want to be told what to do, make a little bit of money, and have my best foot forward. So what Power Plays is really me putting my best foot forward that I think you could make money besides a day trade. Besides something opening down $2, going down $2, up $1, make $3, make a few $1,000s. I did that with Tesla today, but it wasn't a power play. I traded it once. It was down $1, went up 50 cents. I made good money, and that was that. So for power plays, you need something to have a sustained move so you can make money and not have to worry about like trading it 4 times in one day. It's something that has a good benefit of the doubt to be good for 1 to 3 months. So at this point, that's what this product is. This product is to try and give you the right insight on where the money's flowing that can make you some extra cash. And it looks like right now our SPYs trade is working out a little bit. Again, are we going to get this little Friday 313 job where they try and make things look pretty? But anyway, I'm a little long versus spot. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is how I kind of like look at things sometimes during intraday. Let's see right here. This is one trend, and then this was the last time I tried to bounce. So maybe there's some room to there. And then the red dog reversal is right here. You know how many times it's played with this spot, the prior day's low. But again, this is real time. This is me with my active trader hat. Anyway, so as far as power plays, if you're spending $99 to make sure we give you our best foot forward, depending on what the market is, and you get to interpret it into what you want. If there are no power plays, that means we're in corrective mode, and chances are I'm not giving you power play shorts, even though there are some of those out there at times. I'd just rather you sit on cash and wait. But like we had Oxy that worked out great. Silver worked out great. Amazon, we did sell at the highs, but if you leave a trailer on, the trailer loses. It is what it is. It's just trying to give you guys all of our due diligence that we do every day, starting at 4:45, where some of you don't want to do your own. You just want to kind of know a little bit about the market and be told what to do. So Power Plays is more of a product where we're telling you what to do. And then Mike has to sometimes, let me know and say, hey, what are we doing with this? Because, the market changes and we don't want you to take on, too much risk or have a loss bigger than you need to have. So we'll just stop it out and revisit it and not triple, quadruple, and like hide under our desk if it's wrong. We'll just stop out and we'll move on to the next one. Yeah, that's my description of power plays.
Yeah, as our good friend Bobby from the VTF says, nothing wrong with runners getting stopped out. That's what they're there for. But yeah, we have some power play subscribers actually in the chat. Who was it? Yeah, our friend High Plains Drifter says great service. Dunk says great deal. Yeah, even our enemy Plains Drifter said very good deal. So yeah, guys, again, it's just $99 for the entire year. Go to t3live.com/power, t3live.com/power. So Scott, before you said there are no special stocks, but can you give the audience some advice for being more, how can each person out there be more of a special person? We need some life advice from the Red Dog.
Special person. I guess, control what you can control and figure what that is, right? By looking in the mirror and saying, hey, what could I do better? Am I on my phone, at dinner with my spouse or wife and kids? Are we all on our phones? Let's not. Do we wake up in the morning and drink 3 glasses of water to flush the system? Do we exercise? Do we try and eat right? Do we try and act in a way that we want others to act? All these things is what makes a better person, makes you feel better about yourself, and then makes a better community around you, because usually if you're good, it's hard for someone to be bad around you. Otherwise, you don't want to be around those people. You can't change the world. We can't change Washington. We can't change whether we're going to give $9 billion to Gaza or giving money to the Ukraine or funding the Iron Dome, or we need so many things out there that could drive you nuts. So I try and just, ground myself, control what I can control. And I know some of my fault. If you say the word "my fault," we've said this a lot of times, Mikey, where it's like you take accountability for, like, I lost money this week. I did. I called the friggin' almost the top of the market. The market came in and I didn't get crushed. I didn't have the same risk on, but I could have made money short. I could have shorted the bounces. Instead, I tried levels and I had paper cuts, and it added up a little bit this week and I lost money. So I know there's some things I could work on more. So I think the only way you could become a better person is looking in the mirror and figuring out what you're doing wrong and being honest with yourself. And if you make some promises to yourself, keep them. That's how you build self-esteem. If you say, I've been fasting on Mondays. If I all of a sudden don't fast on a Monday, I got to be, why didn't I fast on a Monday? Or if I say I'm not going to drink any beer Monday through Thursday and I'm having a beer on a Tuesday at 1 o'clock, it makes you feel bad about yourself. But if you follow your own plan, that's how you start thinking positively and being positive. If you can't, make promises to yourself and keep them, then you got to figure out that there's probably a little bit of a problem that you need to deal with, and you might need a little extra help. But little steps lead to bigger steps. So take the little steps before the big steps. That's all I'll say as far as like one to grow on, and we all have them. We all could be better people. It doesn't have to be the new you, just a little bit of a better version of yourself, and keep making progress. When you make progress, you feel happy. That's all you need. Don't be perfect, just a little progress. Cheers to a little bit of progress. This is a nice little cute little can, right? The hazy IPA. Cheers.
Okay, Scott, I think that's a good note to end on. Everybody, thank you for coming out. We will be back next week, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. We will put Scott Redler on the hot seat again because he is here to illuminate us and show us the way. Scott, enjoy
just be steady. I just want to be a little steady. I don't want to be, oh, I'm a steady.
All right. Okay, guys. All right. Tony says cheers. It says bye. Cobblestone is asking for long-term recommendations. Join
you know
Power
what? I
Plays.
think if
go join Power Plays. Get the ideas for $99. That's all you got
for a year.
/power.
You get literally like a peek at what I want to do. The best thoughts I have that aren't hurting me at the time for $99 for the year. That's not bad. I think. I've been doing this since 1997. 25 plus years. You don't have much more seat time than I do, and I'm pretty damn honest. I have nothing to gain by giving you guys bad ideas. I'm just trying to give you the best foot forward, which is half the battle, because you never know what some of these scammers out there, why they're doing things or what they're doing. The least I'm trying to do is, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's it. It was my best thought. If I'm right, which I tend to be a higher percentage of the time, you'll always be in a position to limit your losses and be in the right areas that could make progress for you on any time frame.
Yeah, guys, if you don't like it, you could just send us hate mail if you don't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Scott.
If you don't like it, bet sports. I'm kidding.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Scott. It's fun as always. Everybody have a wonderful weekend.